Well, I was about to make a smart-ass comment and say just because Jay's running late doesn't mean I can't start the stream, but just as I hit the button, yeah,
There
he's
it
like
was.
Beetlejuice. You think he's named 3 times and he appears. So, yeah, Scummer, good to see you, brother.
Hey guys.
You ready to get devoured by a snake?
Probably. I'm ready to devour a couple of beers after that, I've got to say.
Dude, the first thing I did was,
yeah.
Do you think he was talking possibly about when he's saying the giant snake? Do you think maybe he saw the big Buddhist cock?
No, no.
Well, yeah. I mean that's like if you want to go into Norse. I mean that's like the Snake of Midgard kind of level, that
Yeah, and Jormungandr.
Far out. Well, I'm just going to say that wasn't what I expected, and I had 2 ways I could have gone with it. I could have gone the full berate the shit out of him and go down that path. I don't think that would have got us anywhere. I'll give him props for showing up for a start, but there's not much. There wasn't too much I could do with that because, I mean, part of the argument I had was like the pillars of the earth and the dome, things like that as evidence of biblical inaccuracies, but it just didn't seem to get anywhere. I think I don't think he's that familiar with the Bible. I think he probably reads a lot of things. He probably watches a lot of stuff on YouTube because not knowing who Solomon was, that to me was I know I kept harping on about it. It's like, how are they related? The bloodline. Well, no, it's pretty clear how they're related. Yeah. They're father and son.
I mean, I'm not being funny. That's who's echoing?
Nah, you got to be echoing.
Shouldn't be.
Is it
me?
I
don't have this running.
I'm not hearing.
There's no echo anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. First of all, I think I'm going to have to offer the guy a little bit of an apology, actually, for something. When he first started showing up around your chats, I thought that was Darth.
Yeah.
So the fact that he thinks Darth is a complete dickhead, the same as we do, I'm going to actually say, give the guy an apology for insinuating that you were Darth Dawkins. If Matt ever hears this, so I apologise for that. I'll give him props for turning up. I'll give him props for being respectful. Now I know I know there was some divided opinion on whether or not he's a Poe or not. I'm kind of of the opinion I think he believes what he's saying, but he clearly doesn't know half as much as what he thinks he knows about the Bible. And I think yes, definitely when the Howard David and Solomon related came out. Now I'm not being funny. That's pretty much like basic level Sunday school stuff, really. And I'm certainly no expert in the Bible. I have read it all the way through, but once. But that's not the same as saying I've really studied the Bible. I haven't, but that is very so. There's little. I mean, I was almost tempted to. I mean, I think I did actually might have sarcastically put in the chat. Does he know how God and Jesus are related?
Oh no, I didn't see that one.
I didn't tag you in it. I was half tempted to, but
I'm going to go back and watch the debate just so I can read the chat because I missed the chat. I intentionally because I didn't want to. I saw Dr. Josh popped up with something. But I intentionally kind of avoided the chat because I didn't want to. Look, it's a debate. I didn't want to start reading things or if anything was put in. I think at one point I did say, if anyone knows that the verse in Luke, just can you quickly flick it to me? Sandy, no, we are not going to be responsible adults. Ever on this channel, we will never be responsible adults. Especially after a couple of. I need a drink after that. I thought, I just saw Gary's put something in. He definitely caught me with the Jewish space lasers.
But
I'm not going to lie. I did not see that coming.
We knew what caused 2 of the biggest ones. One was from the power company set to fire, and the other one was from a freaking gender reveal party.
And they're eucalypts. I mean, it happens. They burn. That's what they're literally a tree that reproduces by burning. It's it's eucalyptus. You should see that stuff go up. Makes a good pop too. But yeah, look, I think, and that's why I sort of said at the end, look, be kind with your questions and just remember, I mean, his views might seem out there, but really, are they any crazier than any religion? I mean, the Mormons believe that have magical underwear and believe that God lives on a space station orbiting the planet Kolob or Kobol. I always get my Kolobs and Kobols mixed up from Battlestar Galactica, but I know it's one of them.
So, I do want to say happy release day for Sandy. 12 years today.
Hey, congratulations,
Yay,
Sandy. Congratulations. Glad to have you here.
Yeah,
First of many.
I mean, the only thing, I mean, if he watches this, I don't know if he's watching in the chat silently at the moment.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But if he does watch this back, I'll just say something to Matt. He was very proved he's very capable of coming in and having a very I don't know if I want to say sensible conversation, because what he was saying just didn't make sense. But he could be at least have a very cordial conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder why he was. Basically, if you watch this, when you come into the live chat, maybe be a bit more like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I said to him at the end. It's, I mean, Tangelo was the same though. I mean,
yeah,
Tangelo would, be the keyboard warrior from hell in the chat section, but then you get him on a stream and he was just perfectly nice.
Very, very
Incidentally, I owe Tangelo an apology.
Uh-oh.
Because I was giving Tangelo a hard time for not showing up to Q&As and things like that, and it's sort of skipping out when the time was right. What I didn't realise is it must have happened. One of the mods must have actually blocked him from the channel, so he wasn't able to come in and do anything. So I've actually unblocked Tangelo. If he wants to come back, we'll have the conversation. But look, I think with Matt, I'd be happy to have another conversation with him. I think we'd need to specifically narrow down a topic because that kind of went. It was hard to sort of work out where to take it, because I mean, when I'm sort of saying, well, one says that he was 22 when he took the throne, the other says 42, which is it? And he was going, oh yeah, one's just a mistranslation. I was like, well, no, hang on, they're not mistranslations. That's the thing. They're corrected in later ones, so they don't have that difference. That's the NIV does that, and that's one of the reasons that a lot of the King James lovers don't like NIVs and things like that. But it was there wasn't really I mean, I could bring up every point and sort of say, well, here's the proof, here's the proof, here's the proof, here's the proof, and it's black and white proof. Like it's not really, it shouldn't be anything that is up for debate. But when people are that entrenched in their belief, what can you do?
There was one thing I was going to. There was one thing I was going to say when he brought up a number, because he was bringing up about how a number of religions tell the similar sort of stories, and I mean, I suppose with mythologies and whatever, there is a bit of crossover between. I mean, with mythologies, there is a little bit of crossover or similar stories. I mean, I think there's. I mean,
because half the time they come from the same source. Like That was actually something I had as one of my things to bring up as evidence against the Bible. It's like, he's killed that one.
One thing I was going to say in relation specifically to the Norse stories, I think what you might need to realize there is that those stories were never written down until well into the Christian period,
13th century.
Yeah,
I had to look. I was actually looking that up during the debate, because he was talking about what he said, the Ouroboros, and it sounded a lot like Jormungandr. So I looked it up to see how old it was, and they both date back to the Bronze Age. Both. So yeah, no, damn it, crap.
And just so you know, actually no, because then I've got to go in the back end, and no, that'll actually be a pain in the ass. I'm going to remod you. That'll be more grief for me than it's worth. Oh dear.
But yeah, with like they said, that the Eddas wasn't written down until the 13th century, but the actual religion itself started Germanic and crossed into Germanic during the Bronze Age. So there's easily crossovers between that part of the and not to mention he was talking from a Gnostic book, which from what I understand just isn't considered part of Christianity. So I could be wrong on that. I don't know much about the Gnostic books. So
well, the Gnostic texts are basically mystical or spiritual versions of Christianity. So and it's part of the reason that the Council of Nicaea happened, because there were so many different texts out there that they wanted to get it into a canon, because there was some of the Gnostic texts were well and truly out there and had some pretty different sort of beliefs outside of the mainstream Christianity, as you sort of heard a little bit of. But the reality is that I don't accept the Bible's true, but these are books that were written like in the 200s and 300s, so they weren't eyewitness; they were just like spiritual takes. It'd be like writing down prophecy or revelation that you get now. It's sort of it's almost akin to the Mormons, sort of adding things after. So it's hard. But I mean, when you look at the similarity between a lot of the religions, I mean, okay, the Norse are a great example. Okay, so the Norse are Celtic people essentially. Now, the Celts originally came from Switzerland. Well, that's as far back as we can go. But they were all over. Like the Celts were big players back in Europe in the day. Like they had a lot of them in what is modern day Turkey. So a lot of the traditions and religions, sort of from the neighbouring countries, come into play. And when countries come in and conquer and take over, they'll bring their religions, and that's why there's, and even just familiarity with stories. So like the flood of Noah is Enkidu in the epic of Gilgamesh. Not Enkidu. It's too late for my brain. But it's the epic of Gilgamesh. There's a lot of similarities between the Babylonian, the laws of Hammurabi and what's in the Old Testament, the Levitical laws. There's crossover in the way that it all.
I've got to. Sorry, I want to interrupt, but I got to read this out before I wake up in a bathtub full of ice somewhere in Chechnya with a kidney mission. Demonic Davros says, "Let me go on. Let me have a go at O'Tangerine. I would juice him so bad." Yeah, I don't.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to wake up in a bathtub full of ice in Chechnya.
I am glad. I am glad, but at least you were able to end on a point of agreement. Darth is a dickhead.
Yeah.
Look, it's pretty sad, and I mean he's got some extreme views, but. I think it's a universal truth that Darth Dawkins is a dickhead. We found the one thing we agreed on, Darth, and it's a shame actually, because we could have bought Darth. Maybe we could get Darth to have a conversation with Matt.
I believe that's what I believe that's if you talk to Steve, that's probably what he's going to refer to as a metaphysical necessity, that Darth is a dickhead.
I think we're going to. We might have to organise it. But look, I definitely will get Matt back on the channel, because it's my worry was, I thought there was a couple of things that were going to happen. He was either going to not show up, and because of the way even in the emails we exchanged, there was some pretty aggressive kind of crap he was throwing in the emails initially. And I sort of went to him, look, I'm not having this conversation with you over email. Are you coming to the debate? Do you accept the terms or not? And eventually he went, yes. So I thought, well, if he shows up, but I figured if he showed up, like we were expecting that Jay was going to be muting and then we'd be flicking him. Because
I highly expected to mute and boot.
I was
expecting that he'd come on and be like this aggressive sort of like the angry Darth Dawkins style Christian. I wasn't expecting what I got, so I kind of had to change a lot of. I've got about 7 pages.
I was a little concerned when you obviously knew he was a flat earther as well, and only because I have seen what a lot of the flat earthers are like on some of these quote unquote debates or whatever. And sometimes the mod has to be ready to shut them down at a moment's notice because they'll do something that gets the channel nuked or something. That was
He didn't start off well. I mean, he started off on the MGTO stuff.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, he's not an incel as well, is he?
It's just like as soon as you said, "Oh yeah," the link, I'm thinking I'm not linking anything with MGTO on it. There's zero chance of that happening. The first thing that popped into my head was, I wonder if he's divorced because of the direction he was going. But and then with the space lasers, it's just like but that's why I poked around a bit. I wanted to work out, all right, is he taking the piss or is this his genuine belief? And I think that's his genuine belief. I really think that. I think
that's perhaps why I started, because I really wanted to like be a bit more bloody snarky in the chat than I was at times. But then I thought when it comes to the point that he's kind of serious, I sort of backed off because I think there was a big. We were trying to figure out whether he was a Poe or not to begin with. But the more I listened, I think the more I thought, no, I think he believes what he's saying.
I think he does too.
So I can't say. That's one thing I can't necessarily say is that he was being dishonest.
No, he really needs to read his Bible though. I mean, if you're a Christian, I mean, at least know and understand your Bible. Like not knowing the relationship between David and Solomon. That's the one. That's what I said to him. Mate, you don't know your Bible. You don't know this. You don't understand what the different lineages are about. You don't.
Particularly if you're a biblical literalist.
Yeah, and there was things because I was going back to a lot of my days as a Christian apologist, and I'm thinking I know how to answer these questions. I almost wanted to answer them for him. I think at one point I said, "Look, here's how you answer this one," but there's some things that are, and of course, I would have the answer for those anyway. But
I mean, did he know? I mean, did he know coming here? I don't know whether he knew or not. I mean, did he know your background coming here? Like the fact that you were training to be a pastor and you studied the Bible for years. So, I mean,
I honestly don't know, but I mean, he came to my channel. He came and sought us out, not the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I came across him a couple of weeks ago, and he was just trolling in the. As I said, when I first sort of saw him pop up, I actually thought, "Oh, Darth's back under a sock,"
I'm not going to lie. I was kind of hoping it was Darth.
Oh, that would have been epic.
Yeah, like Lissy said, he kept jumping translations too.
Yeah, he did when it
suited him.
Yeah, because I went, hang on, you've gone to NIV, and that's why I wanted to get him straight up and say what version of the Bible we're using. Because also, if I didn't want to quote something out of the NIV, and he goes, the King James only in the original 16th century. So that's all fine. I can deal with that because it's I probably know better how to read older texts from that era than most would. So but even Exodus 21, when we were going through Exodus 21, he just didn't understand what it was saying because he was saying, no, it doesn't mean that. It says this. I'm just going, but it doesn't. It's nowhere there. He's talking about the eye for an eye, which is literally if you cut your slave's eye out, you have to let him free. Basically, if you maim, and he's saying, "Oh no, they can quit their job at any time." It's like, no, that's not what it says.
I've got to say something about this, Chris. Actually, about the slavery bit. Oh. I sent that super chat, and then I looked up in the chat only to find that Gary had made the same joke just before I'd sent that about the GWS Giants.
Yeah, well, I thought by that you meant that the GWS Giants had lost, so I just thought, well, I'm not going to bother watching the show. And went and had a look to see what the score was, only to find out they bloody won. Hey, go the Giants!
There was something about beating your slaves within an inch of their life, and I thought, oh, it is a metaphor for Aussie rules.
He was reading something off of one of his, I don't remember which one he spotted, but I was looking through it and I'm reading through what he said, and I didn't get anything that he said. It was like, this passage doesn't say a damn. It doesn't even have the same words that you're talking about. What the hell are you talking about?
What I think he's done is he's reading someone who holds these views stuff from the internet, and it's saying, "Oh, yeah, this verse says this, and in Exodus 21, this is what it really says." But that's why I brought it up. I'm like, I'm looking at Exodus 21. I'm reading it. It's here in black and white. Like it's. And when he shared his screen for the other one, that's got like he was just googling what he needed to find in the Bible, but it's got the NIV as that's what he's reading off. I'm just going, mate, no, it's King James and King James. That's what we're saying. The NIV corrects it, but in the actual NIV, there's actually a note there that says, well, the original text said that it was 40 and 2, but we think this is an error because in this version it says this. So in this verse it says this, so it's it's a little bit of a and I think Gary's right. He's basically he's probably reading content he's compiled on his site over a decade. I think that's the reality.
See, this is the one little thing that I was a little frustrated with him in early on, and I know I think you guys sort of had to kind of stamp on this a little bit, but was the go watch my video, go watch, I'm like, it's like, dude, you're here to have a debate, not plug your videos.
Well, that's what I said to him. I said,
the thing is, it's like, yeah, I mean, and again, this is something. Again, I doubt very seriously he's going to watch this back, or he's in the chat right now. But again, he came in the other week on the 6-pack pre-show, and I was in there, and and was just keep saying baseless assertions to everything we were saying. And not bring, we have no evidence, blah blah. Well, sorry, dude, that's kind of what you did, and I've got to say I'm saying this really as a kind of a constructive criticism to him. That's kind of what he did in this debate tonight. That if he does more of these in the future, like you do any more of these, bring some sources, some evidence that we can look over and maybe assess how valid it is.
Yeah. $5 super chat from Sandy. Why not? I kind of like you bunch most days.
We kind of like you too.
Most days.
Thank you very much, Sandy. No, I like Sandy all the time. Sandy. Sandy's cool. Sandy's cool. I love actually a lot of the interaction we have in the chat. Like it's nice. It's a good number, I think, at the moment. So
2 Aussie dollars from Hereticals. Jay, please ask Lissy Lou to top up my drink.
What a good idea. What a good idea. Hopefully in a minute or two she'll come wandering in, roll her eyes, and just
you probably to be fair. To be fair though, you could have asked that without giving like 60 cents to YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but hey, I get 60 cents myself, so every time he chats, I get money. So
yeah, that's true. I'm sending myself broken.
By the way, Don, I'm afraid it's in the wash today, but my Hereticals T-shirt has arrived. So
yeah, I've seen the picture on Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah. Davros is still waiting for his. The lockdowns has got him.
We do have the Darth Dawkins Reads the Bible range, and what I was thinking is, in honor of Darth Dawkins, for everything we sell from that range, what we should do is we should donate some money to a trans charity.
Cool, yes.
I think that might be an idea.
I think that would suit Darth.
I want to talk to Jen about that. She probably knows the right one too.
You want to read that, Chris?
Well, yeah. Triple D wants himself and Jay to have an agreeable conversation on something one day, maybe on movies. Unfortunately, when it comes to movies, Jay doesn't have agreeable conversations because he believes that Blues Brothers thing is a decent movie, and that's just ridiculous.
Easy.
That's enough of that shit.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay. Jay, it's 106 miles to Chicago.
Yeah.
Full tank of gas.
Half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark.
And we're wearing sunglasses.
Oh dear. It's yeah. What can we do? What can we do? So that was funny. That was fun.
I don't like this. There we go.
It feels a bit weird. It's just like it's not my usual spot.
I know.
I
I
just
like
feel
it
like
doesn't feel right.
I keep getting put full screen for him.
Well, that was the weird thing on Six Pack. When you weren't there, I was in your spot, and I just didn't. It didn't feel right. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be right there. I'm supposed to be right here.
It's like I want to be in the middle.
You're like Sheldon off The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
That's my spot.
This is my spot.
You're in my spot. Well, now I know how to mess with you, so that's good.
Oh,
Yeah, that's easy. I'm going to make you host Six Pack every week now.
oh good Lord. Hey, there's a reason I'm co-host because I like doing the other stuff. I don't like running the background bullshit.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Trying to go crap. All right, if I hit this, shit, I got to remember to drop them out before it. And then I got it.
See, and I make it all easy. I've got everything there. You know, you got the buttons to hit. It's just like we're all set for you to just hit this one, and then when this happens, and you know, we've got to actually. I think what we do have to do. I think Jeff's been on a few times. I think Jeff's going to have to get his own WWE style entrance as well.
There you go.
I think so.
I'm going to work out. I'll work out something. I'll make it mighty British for you.
Oh, okay. If I get the British Bulldogs theme, you know.
Yeah. Isn't that just God Save the Queen?
Rule Britannia, I think. Yeah.
So,
it is too.
Godless Granny says movies are evil. Only sinners go to movie. And D3 comes back with, I love sinning so much. I'm not an atheist.
And I like it. You know, Gary could be onto something here. Put the girls back in charge. That was fun.
Oh, that was a riot.
That was one of the coolest. I think the girls have done themselves a disservice because it was such a good episode that's just going to have to happen again and more frequently. That's not an annual thing anymore. That's going to be more because that was just such an interesting dynamic. It was just. I mean, yeah, Jen knows how to host, obviously, but then I guess Claire. I think Claire's a real.
Claire was a riot. Claire's
awesome. It's yeah. I'm actually going to go on to. Me and Claire teed up a time going on to her show. We're going to do for an Am I the Arsehole stream. I think we're doing that early August. I don't know. We did sort out a date, but that'll be a cool one. So
and I got to say, Jay did a good job playing me. So
who played you?
Jade.
Oh, Jade. Yeah, mate. It's I'll be honest. I think Jade was a better you than you.
I wouldn't go that far.
She hasn't got the BBC though.
She doesn't. But it does lead to a bit of an awkward conversation. That I mean, I was going to have it off stream, but Jade.
And that's him. We won't let him continue.
Now you're in.
Well,
there. What the hell?
There we go.
Too many Chiefs.
There we go.
Too many Chiefs.
Musical chairs in here.
Yeah, so it's for things like this that I think we're going to go in a different direction. I think we're going to go with Jade. I mean, I'd like to say it's not you, it's us, but it's you.
It's me.
It's you. But actually, Kimo is right. Yeah, Chesh's TTO TM last night. That was a cool. I watched that one live. It was. A really cool chat.
I haven't watched that actually. Is that the one where they talk? Apparently, they were doing a stream on Jimmy. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The toxic narcissist. By the way, that video.
Yeah,
I am doing that video. I just didn't want to do it pre. We've just had to go through a process with once we hit the 1,000, they go and do a quick review to make sure there's nothing that could be seen as picking on people. So I thought I'm just going to wait until we get all the ticks through before I put that video out. But I am, and it's not really picking on him, but I am going to well, I'm going to tell my story about what happened and my run-in with him when, I was less than 100 subscribers and he decided to send his goons after me. So,
I'm going to say I have I've watched a couple of the videos. I don't really pay much attention to drama, especially when it's to do with him. But I did watch a few of the videos, and I did sort of comment that saying, look, I've got this Australian friend who just very politely tried to correct him on something he got wrong about Australian politics and history. And just instead, just got blocked, and then Jimmy's mob came after him, and that was so basically. So I said, I've known for a while this is how Jimmy operates. Now, I'll say this very quickly, though. I mean, look, if he is having issues at the moment, whatever, and I don't wish any ill on the guy or any harm on the guy. I want him to do better, really, but at the same time, he has brought a lot of this on himself, and I think he needs to realise that.
See, I think he's. I don't think he's a stupid person. I think he's very clever. I think he's manipulating. I don't believe it. I think he's crying victim because it suits his narrative. But no, look, it's. I mean, the one thing that I remember, and it stood out to me at the time, because I guess to give a brief backstory, and I'll go into more detail in the video, but he put out a video on an Australian law that was coming up, but he got it completely wrong. It was factually inaccurate. And I'd commented on it, and I think I'd put in the comments, that it's wrong on a few things, but and I really wish that it's politics. People wouldn't get involved in politics so much, especially our politics when they don't understand it. And that was it. The mob was after me, and he decided to directly start attacking me. But the one thing that he said was, how dare you question my research skills and my research ability? I thoroughly researched.
How well is that aged? How well is that?
And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, well, hang on. What he's done is he's read 2 articles from an online newspaper called The Guardian. I know you've got The Guardian in the UK. We've got the online version here. The Guardian is a very, very left-leaning publication, but it's also a publication that was bought out by our previous Prime Minister, who got basically booted out of office by the current one. So he's sort of been on a little bit of an attack through the newspaper, and it's all political shit basically. Yeah. But he said that was his research. Now, me on the other hand, I'm actually a member of the political organisation that put forward the proposed law. I've put in submissions on the proposed law. I've studied, I'm doing a PhD in Australian history, for Christ's sake. I've studied politics at a university, and in particular Australian politics, at a university level, and I'm an actively involved in Australian politics. Like, I know what I'm talking about. I've studied law in Australia. I understand how the laws work. I can tell you now, when it comes to his expertise versus my expertise, what I've done versus him reading 2 Guardian articles that were just basically designed to shit can our current Prime Minister, it doesn't count. And that's what he went after me. And I ended up sending him a message saying, hey, look, please, I don't want this fight. I don't need this. And this was all happening at a time where there was something fairly significant going on. And I was actually on a car trip. It was a 6-hour drive, and I'm getting all these alerts, just alert after alert after alert at a particularly stressful time, in the middle of bushfires to really. But anyway, but that's all beside the point. But the way there was a clear, especially at that time, a clear power imbalance between him as a large channel and me as someone who was very, very new. And his people, they went at me, and he was very happy for them to go at me. And he was encouraging in comments. And unfortunately, a lot of things got deleted after. And I'm blocked by him now, so I can't access anything anyway. Apparently, there's some way we can go through and get it all. Steve was telling me about, so I'm probably going to look into that at some point. But
it's
he
a way back machine, yeah.
Yeah, he went pretty hard, and it was all done and dusted in a 12-hour period. But in that 12-hour period, I made the decision that I was done. I was out. I was not going to have anything to do with the atheist community. I didn't want to do YouTube anymore. It was that, it was that stressful, and I'm someone who's pretty thick-skinned. I mean, I played in politics, but it was just that constant bombardment. It was just like, it isn't worth it. But then as soon as I sent him the, hey, look, I don't want to fight. Can we please just start again? I'm a friend, not an enemy. And then after that, all of a sudden, everything stopped. And I'm like, I didn't expect it just to stop suddenly. That's convenient, but anyway.
Well, I'll say, I mean, obviously, sorry, I will just say one thing more on Jimmy before we probably get off this subject. But that comment about him, how dare you criticize my research skills? Jimmy, your research skills, especially with what's happened recently, have been shown to be completely shitty. So, yeah, you might want to rethink that one, because I mean, he's admitted that he went charging into this situation that's got him in trouble without doing any fucking research.
Yeah, because look, all he does is he made friends with that, or he's trying to make friends with that other person because they've got a bigger channel and he can benefit off it. The guy's a fucking, he's just a scammer. He's an out and out scammer. And look, I guess I'm in a bit more of a comfortable position now where, I'm not the small guy. And, not that I've got a huge channel, but, I've certainly got more than the 50 or, whatever it was I had back then. So,
you were smaller than I was back then, I think, when that happened.
Oh, yeah. I was like the new kid on the block, and it was just like, it was wow. But I guess now, I've had a little bit more time in the community, and I probably know that, he's not as popular as I once thought he was. But anyway, he's a douche. Yeah. I'll do a video on it. Don't need to talk about him anymore. And if he's watching it, he can get fucked.
Probably not. You're not big enough content creator for him.
Oh well, I don't know. He seemed to find out what Jen said on our Six Pack about him, because she was blocked very soon after that.
But you know what? That's when he blocked me as well. He blocked.
Yeah, I'm not blocked.
he blocked Jen and he blocked me. And that he didn't block me. Well, I mean, I kind of made nice with him a little bit, but yeah, that's when Jen went after him, because he was basically. Gatekeeping the trans community. I mean, the guy is just a fucking con. He's a scammer. I don't care. I'll say that publicly. He's a scammer. He's full of shit.
So on a different note, there, did you guys all see my new kitty?
I did see there was. I did see there was something.
Which is another thing we've got to talk about. What is it with all you cat people? Seriously, cats.
Well, here's the thing.
Creatures.
I go for a walk usually 2 or 3 times a week. I walk 5.5 miles. And I was doing my walk yesterday. And
can you give that to us in kilometers for those of us who use the proper system?
It's like 8, or I don't fucking know. But I was on the phone with my mom. I was talking to my mom as I'm walking down the road. And she's like, was that a meow? So I stopped and I'm looking around and I hear this little kitten meowing. And I look over and here comes this little cat out of the bushes. Right in the middle of nowhere. There's no houses around. There's no barns, nothing. Just a bunch of fields. And all by herself, just meowing like crazy. So I'm like, all right, you're going home with me.
So
I named her Charlie Bradbury. And if there's any supernatural fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm a little bit concerned here that I don't even know I should make this. I won't make this joke because it'll get your stream monetized, Chris.
Send it to me in the private chat.
Yeah, I'll put it in the private chat.
See what I think we should have done. I mean, you're not thinking of the channel here. What we could have done is we could have had a stream where we name the cat. Could have had a vote on what we named it, which would be great because you'd have a cat called Darth Dawkins at the end of it.
Yeah, and for a female cat, that just really doesn't work. And I was close. Granny says it's 8.8 kilometers.
There we go.
So I was close. I said 8. So yeah, for all the Supernatural fans, her name is Charlie Bradbury.
Okay, that explains why Lissy was yelling out in the background. You mentioned Supernatural and she fangirls out.
I'm in the middle. I'm actually... yeah, probably don't want to say that one out loud.
Okay, my suggestion is put that in the chat, because that is actually pretty funny, and then we can maybe put it up on stream. But I like what Triple D has said. Darth Hawkins. Oh, that's so cute.
But yeah, just so Lissy know, I'm on the season. Dean just got the mark of Cain. I'm watching it again, but that's where I'm at right now.
So JG's cat is called Dark. Is that like the dark matter that where we're going to go where the snake is when atheists die? And this is what Scummer put in the background. I'm not going to read that out on stream, even if he super chats it. He doesn't read, but it's there.
Oh, speaking of, you said what? You got blocked by AIG, right? But then you're back. They unblocked you.
I was blocked by AIG and Ken Ham. I'm still blocked by Ken Ham, but I'm no longer blocked by. As soon as I put that I was blocked by AIG, I'm all of a sudden not blocked by AIG. I'm like, okay, that's weird, because I used to love going and reading Granny's comments on AIG, but I guess I get to do that again now. No one trolls AIG on Twitter like Godless Granny. Seriously. If you aren't following Godless Granny, go follow her, just so you can get the alerts for when she puts a comment under anything Ray Comfort, AIG. It is absolute gold. It is sensational. She absolutely takes them to school, and it's just it's sort of giving it to them a bit, but it's always really witty. And I love that. I like that sort of that clever wit. So 100%. Let's do that. We do have it's not a super chat from Gary, but it's close enough to a super chat from Gary. So I'm going
to also from D3. Man, love me some Bobby. I enjoy talking to Bobby. D3 said it first. Ha 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 ha.
Now,
and
what if we got Matt and Bobby talking?
Chemo wants to know, is that Pornhub BBC or a national broadcaster BBC?
Oh, that's Jay's. So it's probably we'll go with Pornhub. Yeah, and Gary, you are right. It never gets old.
No,
it never gets old. And
hell, the candles keep coming back.
Godless Granny is very cool. I think we can all agree with that. Godless Granny is very cool. There's no two ways about that.
Oh, so Ed, I don't know how far he's got into it, but Ed is trying to write a commercial. I think he said it was for. I don't remember what it was for, but I brought up this idea that we can have the chat on a stream write the commercial for him. I wish he was here because I can't. Gary was there. I know Jeff was there. I can't remember what he said it was. It was during last week's Six Pack, and I brought it up because the Merkins just did the group Merkins. Do you know who that is?
No idea.
They're the guys that dress all up in the slasher horror film costumes and do parodies of popular songs.
Oh, okay. Nah, no idea.
They just did a one called Slice Baby, and it was Michael Myers was singing it, and they had is they during a live stream they had the chat write the lyrics to the song for him. So I suggested that for Ed for his commercial, and I think that we might. I was thinking about doing that on Six Pack, if we got some time. But probably not this one because we've got the African Humanist coming on this week.
That's
so maybe next week.
She seems really cool. I've never spoken to her outside of the chat or in text essentially, but I think I watch videos she puts out, and I'm really intrigued to have a conversation with her.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's just. I think it'll be a really cool conversation. I think she would have fit in well with the panel a couple of weeks back. Actually,
Yeah.
I think she would have brought in a real different kind of insight as well. So
I think Jen actually reached out to her, but she wasn't able to join.
I'll say, as someone who's had the African Humanist on my channel, she is a blast to talk to. Yeah, you'll enjoy her, I think.
Yeah, good. She seems like a really cool person.
And now the chat has devolved into talking about people covering their private parts.
Well,
by the way, were you thinking when you said about the slasher thing a minute ago, were you thinking of the Insane Clown Posse as the band?
No. The Merkins. No. They're called the Merkins.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never heard of them.
Yeah. So Merkin has a bit of a different meaning in Aussie slang.
It's the same thing in the United States.
There you go.
Yep. It's like Digital Demonic Davros put it. It's the Merkin is a downstairs wig.
Okay. All right. Well,
yep.
We see. We never know with you crazy Americans. Sometimes it's hard to tell. It can be confusing. But anyway, we get there.
All right, Gary. Have a good night, buddy.
See you, mate. So I think we're definitely going to have to. I think we'll be getting Matt back on. I'd like to get a Matt chat.
Mm-hmm.
Matt chat. Oh, I think we'll call it the Matt chat. That's got a bit of a
yes, the Matt conception.
But I would like to see that discussion. I think I did say to Matt if he, I'd be open to having more conversations with him depending on how he behaved, I guess. And I thought he was, as out there as his views were, and as a little bit worried as I was at one point. I think there's conversations that can be had.
Mattception.
Yeah.
Gary was funny because Gary in the chat during the debate said, looks like Matt's going to end up being a regular panelist on conspiracies. I don't know about that.
If we got the right topic, that could be interesting. I mean...
Well, we've already done Flat Earth, haven't we? So
we've done Flat Earth, we've done the moon landing. So
you wouldn't get him on for Flat Earth. I think you might get him on for something. I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be one step at a time. Certainly, we'll have him on for debates. Maybe he can be our G-man.
Oh, you don't need it. You do not need a G-man.
Oh, good God!
Actually, I want to have a conversation with the original G-Man.
No, you
don't. Hold on. Jay, hold your cat up again. Do you not get that reference?
I got the reference. I don't think Chris got the reference.
Oh, okay. There's I'm pretty sure it's on Steve's channel actually.
Wasn't it? I thought it was his debate with Shannon.
No, it was that Steve did an after show after like non-sec did the Aaron Ra Kent Hovind thing. Obviously it's back when Aaron and Steve were still on speaking terms.
I don't think they were on speaking terms. Yeah. I think they were on tolerate terms.
So Steve held an after show, and midway through it, G-Man just came into it, and it all went to shit or whatever. And he's trying to tell Aaron about evolution. He said, and at one point, G-Man gets his cat up. He said, "Are you telling me this evolves into a human being?" And this poor cat's was like,
really?
Aaron, I don't think he'd ever come, or he don't think he'd come across G-Man at that point, and he was laughing his ass off because he thought G-Man was a Poe.
Okay. I think Sandy's made a good point. I think Matt would be great for creating conspiracies to debunk.
Well, the problem is every conspiracy he talked to, other than the snake one, I had heard before, so he's not creating anything new. Well, I do got to take it back. The giant slave thing was new to me too.
Yeah, that's just he's just completely misinterpreted and misread the Bible. He just didn't understand. He just didn't understand the Bible.
Oh,
And
speaking of the
talking about the African humanist, yes, we were talking about G-Man. Before we were talking about G-Man, we were talking about you and how we're looking forward to seeing you on Six Pack this week. So I don't know how we went from you to G-Man because that's not a normal transition, I guess. But anyway. But no, look, I'd be interested if Matt and Bobby Mack had a conversation, but I'd be worried about what might happen to Bobby after. It's Bobby's very open to new ideas.
Research Shallow Earth.
You keep saying, okay, well, you know what? We'll put Shallow Earth on the agenda. We can do that in a few weeks. I think we can do that in a few weeks. So,
speaking of, I got to finish researching the Thule stuff for Wednesday. It's been a crazy week for me. So
I have actually ordered a book on the Thule Society, like a full on proper book, but it's not going to be here in time.
You'll have to do one on like the Loch Ness Monster or something at one time, and you have to have Bobby for that.
I think we tried to do that once, didn't we?
Well, no, we're gonna do I think we talked Bigfoot, but I want to do one full on cryptids.
Yeah.
See, go to Granny. I think she's right. We might break Bobby. Yeah, I don't want to break Bobby. I like Bobby. Bobby's my mate.
Research laser sharks.
And I think Lissy Lou's nailed it. Rabbit holes. That's what would happen. Yeah. I think that's. Hey, you know what? It'd probably be our best rated stream.
Rabbit holes. That one would go down.
Oh yeah. But no, I think we've got some stuff that we've sort of got in the pipeline for conspiracy. We're doing conspiracies a bit different. We're actually this week it redebuts as cults and conspiracies because we're gonna look at cults instead of doing it as a different one every week, we're going to sort of do like 2 and 3 parts. So we're going to sort of try and do more of a deep dive and with the cults. I'm actually going to try and get for one of the episodes, if we're doing like a 3-parter, for instance, try and get maybe for episode 2 someone from that cult to come and have a conversation. So sort of see how we go.
So the first one we're doing, you're going to do Raelians, right?
Yeah, I want to do the Raelians. I could probably do a 5-parter on the Raelians. I know way too much about them.
Well, let's just start with 2, and then we'll go from there.
We'll start with 2 and go from there. But I think we could potentially. I would like to get someone on for a conversation who's reasonably senior in that organisation. I don't know. The only problem is I don't know if they'll talk to me.
That's probably the problem you're going to have getting people who are actively in. Getting former members is probably easy enough with certain things, but getting people who are actively still involved with one of these groups, because they're probably going to resent the whole fact that it's being called a cult in the first place.
No, see, actually, the Raelians don't. They admit that they're a cult, and they've got an apologetic based around. Okay, yeah, well, it's a cult, but a cult is just a small religion. That's their apologetic around it. So I think that under most circumstances, they'd be happy to come on to a channel and certainly, espouse their beliefs. That could be a conversation that Jay has. We'll see if they'll talk to me.
Now, I don't know much about the Raelians.
I mean,
I know it's all Lord Rael who believes he's Jesus.
No, different Raelians.
Is it different?
No. So Rael is Claude Vauhillon is his real name. He's French. He basically the gist of it is it's a UFO cult. It's very ancient aliens in its theology, where it's basically that life was created about 6,000 years ago by scientists from another planet. And essentially the biblical stories are a misunderstanding or, a misinterpretation. So they'll say things like, for instance, that Noah's flood was actually where they blew up the earth and killed all life, but, they preserved everything.
it sounds like a cross between young Earth creationism and Scientology so far.
Yeah, look, it's pretty apt, that description, actually. To answer Kimo's question, so the American Raelians and the Montreal ones are the same. They're pretty big in French speaking countries because Rael or Claude Voillon, he's French. He's actually an ex-French racing car driver of all things. They're big in Japan too. Japan's one of their biggest places, but they've got about 60,000 members worldwide.
I think they'd probably be the exception though to any series called a cult of getting someone who's an act, because like I said, for pretty much anyone else though, they would never accept the idea that they're a cult. Most of these groups,
they kind of own it. They're happy.
Yeah,
to say
I mean, they're kind of the exceptions to the rule in that respect.
So it's not the same Lord Rael then?
No, I think there's one that I think Nogasuchi's been doing videos on.
That's the one. That's Lord Rael.
No, different, completely different. Let me find it.
I will say if I could plug somebody else's channel for a second as well. If
Dead Kennedy.
Dead Kennedy in Space is doing an excellent series on cults right now. He's having some trouble with YouTube with it, unfortunately, because they keep demonetizing him or copy, So he's done like 4 of them now. I think he's done Heaven's Gate, People's Temple. What was the third one he did? Om Shinrikyo, and he's just done he's just released one on the Manson family. He's just doing this brilliant series called History of Cults at the moment. And
that's not the same guy I was thinking, Chris.
Yeah, no, I think it's so basically they're a UFO cult. I'll flick some information across to you, Jay, and have a look up on, read up on them. It's
so I do know when we dive into Heaven's Gate, we want to start research on that one earlier, because you can actually go to the Heaven's Gate website and request actual information that they will send to you. There are still members of the Heaven's Gate running the website.
Okay, I'm amazed there's still members.
Well, there was 2 of them, I think, that didn't go. They chose to stay and run the information. Yeah, you can still email them and they'll still send you information.
They believe that the spaceship picked up everyone else?
From what I understand, yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, yeah, sure.
But yeah, you can actually go to the Heaven's Gate website.
Okay. They're still called that. They've renamed themselves since then, haven't they? Or
no, as far as I know, they're still Heaven's Gate.
Still Heaven's Gate.
No, I think we can definitely do Heaven's Gate. That's heavensgate.com. Yeah. Holy moly! That website is from.
Oh yeah, definitely 90s.
Wow.
There you go.
That looks from about the era when they made the news.
They hey, incidentally, okay, so we can obviously see Jay's screen there. Is it weird that he's got a picture of Ed?
Right there.
I've got a picture of Ed myself, but I think we all do. I mean, we've got to turn Ed into a T-shirt at some point.
Yeah, totally.
I think
you can get request videotapes. You can actually view the transcripts free online.
When they're saying 2 recent videos and videotapes, I'm questioning how up to date it is. Obviously they didn't leave the developers behind.
The first one was from September 29th, 96, and the second one was from October 5th, 96.
Granny's just pointed out a bit of a problem we've got with the stream here. Don't know what this has to do with pigs. What is an aftershow?
Did I put aftershow? God damn it, I did.
This is what happens when I leave Jay in charge of things.
I don't know what you're talking about. It says aftershow.
you do realize this is not helping your cause here, Jay. Of like Jade's taking your job, you know.
Well, no, we all know I'm stealing the channel from Chris. So
yeah, look, he's been chatting with Carl Curtis, and
he does not. To be fair, he does do 95% of the work.
I do.
Maybe I'm the Kyle in this relationship. I don't know. No, I'm definitely not the Kyle. No jail for me.
No, thanks.
I don't know. Some of short sort of hair, and someone with long hair and a beard.
Yeah, long hair and a beard. You got the short, scruffy.
Hang on, I'll pull that down a bit and.
Yeah, there you go. No, we got it. Nerdy's the Kyle.
If you got to ask the question, if you're the Kyle, you're probably the Kyle.
You got to ask.
Granny's got a premiere that's happening soon, so I think we need to
wrap this up.
When that's going to start. But Granny, if you can do us a favor, can you put the link to your premiere back in the chat? Everyone, as soon as this is finished, click on the link. Make sure that you go and watch Granny's premiere, because I have no idea what it's about, but it's going to be good, because Granny only does good content. So make sure you all jump over there. And on that note, I guess we'll see everyone on Wednesday when we start exploring the Thule Society. In the meantime, click on the link. It doesn't start for half an hour, I'm told, but just go and wait. Go spend time in the chat and talk amongst yourselves until it starts. And have fun.
Night. Be water, my friends.
See you.